We are back. Today on the podcast, guys, we're talking about ego in the martial arts and a dude promoting himself. I'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, welcome back to Black Belt Tips. I am Bill Jones, head instructor of top-level martial arts, black belt under Pedro Sauer. With me, as always, my friend, my co-host, my pal, my comrade, my chum, slightly above novice in all things, Mr. Edward Whitney. How you doing, Ed?
Doing great, man. How are you?
I can't complain, brother.
Looking forward to the holidays.
Is there a holiday?
There's one coming up.
Which one?
Involves birds and things of that nature. I think we celebrate the...
Aviary Day?
Yes.
Okay.
We celebrate it by eating them.
We eat the aviaries?
The birds, yes.
Wow, that's sad.
Yep.
Wow.
You don't eat turkey?
Yeah, I eat turkey.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Oh,
Turkey
okay.
Day.
Turkey Day?
Turkey Day.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
One of the most... I don't know. It seems to me these days that all the holidays are like you're an asshole if you celebrate it, and you're an asshole if you don't celebrate it.
Yeah. That's pretty fair.
Like, oh, you celebrate Thanksgiving, huh? You like that you slaughtered thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and it's like that's not really what I'm
celebrating. Hanging
like.
out
I'm
with
sorry
my
that happened,
family.
but like
that's all it is.
I just like my family and being thankful for things.
I don't like the slaughter of anybody.
Yeah, I'm not saying that genocide's good.
Yeah,
just saying I like turkey and my family.
Yeah, I just want to hang out with the fam, man. That's
I just like having a nice day off of work. How about that?
That's what it is.
Why is it got to be so
think
crazy?
about it. You eat with your family, you eat pie, and you have the day off work.
I don't eat pie. Pie's gross.
Oh, God. You never cease to amaze me, Bill Jones.
I know. That's what I do.
Pie is a gift from the heavens, sir.
You're wrong, but okay. So, what else is going on in your life, Ed?
Not a whole lot, man.
Yeah?
Not a whole lot.
Did you watch Justice League?
No. Did you?
Yeah.
Was it good?
I thought it was, well, I almost said fantastic. That would be a stretch.
Okay.
So here's what I'll say about Justice League. For anybody who's been watching and keeping up with the DC universe, which is like Wonder Woman and Superman in recent years, they know that they've had their problems.
Oh, they've been beefing.
Not only with like just the content of what they're putting out, but also the tone.
Oh, okay.
Like you go from like Superman, which is or the Man of Steel, which is what it was called, where like he's like this mopey, the world hates me type of Superman.
Oh no!
To like and it seemed like he was the only hero that had ever shown up. Like everybody was freaked out. Like this guy has all this power. And then you switch that over to the tone of something like Suicide Squad, where now you have lizard people and guys who can literally create fire and shit. Like this is like if you watch these two movies back to back, you wouldn't think they exist in the same universe.
Yeah.
And then you've got like Batman and Superman, and it's like Batman's been around for 20 years, and so like the tone changes again because then it's like, oh, Superman saved the world. I fucking hate that guy. Like that's kind of how Batman versus Superman went.
So let me understand this.
Okay.
Superman, the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
He can shoot laser beams out of his eyes. He can fly. He can throw a mountain across the field, but he can't deal with his emotions.
Well, I think the issue was like, he was just trying to find himself. So it's kind of loosely based on a comic book called Superman Earth 1. Yeah, and I don't want to get too nerded out for you, but...
Yeah, that was after my time.
Long story short, like in this variation of him, he was trying to find his place, and he went to like all the... Like, because Superman's super smart. That's one they never give you. Like, you got to remember, this is a guy who has the intelligence and all the knowledge of Krypton, which apparently was like a spacefaring society that could, send a small baby orphan through space, hurling on a rocket ship and have it land, on a blue marble millions of light years away, right?
But they're emotionally unstable. I mean, come on, man.
But he ain't got his shit together.
Yeah, like... That's tough. That's tough for me to buy into.
So, long story short, so how to... By the way, if you're listening to... Don't listen to my podcast if you're wanting, like, high level critique on movies.
No.
There are definitely going to be spoilers.
We treat movies like everything else.
I don't do non-spoilers and shit. So if skip ahead 5 minutes or something if you don't want. I would say I'd put a timestamp in, but I know I have no intention to do that.
Okay.
So that would just be a lie.
Yeah, then we're just fibbing at that point.
So anyway, in Justice League, they bring they bring Wonder Woman and Batman and Superman together. Like, Superman's dead at first because he died in the last movie. I don't know if you know that.
No.
Yeah, because you watch nothing. And
oh, that's not true.
What did you watch? What's the last movie you watched?
I'll have you know, sir, I watched a documentary last night about cloud formations over mountain ranges. Just last night. Sat through the whole thing.
Did you get? Yeah, was that captivating?
Yes, it was. It really was. I enjoyed the crap out of it.
Cloud formations.
Yeah.
Captivating.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Anyways, back to your movie.
So back to where most people think things are captivating.
That universe.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, Batman has to get the gang together. Big bad guys are coming to take out the place. And they introduce like the Flash and Aquaman and Cyborg. They had already had a movie about Wonder Woman.
Okay.
So you have these 3 new characters come in, and you really basically don't know shit about them. And Flash kind of acts, in my opinion, over the top, like kind of annoying.
No.
He's supposed to be like the you know how they always have one character that like we're supposed to see through, like that's how we would be. Yeah, like he totally he walks into the Batcave and then like zooms into all the things and he's like, I'm in the Batcave, and like he acted like a total douche about it.
That's
whereas
tough.
you and I would be like, okay, I'm in the Batcave.
This is cool.
Play it cool.
Snag a selfie when he's not looking.
Yeah, but like, other than that, you wouldn't be a douchebag about it.
No, I'd try to be cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so the movie was really good, I thought.
Okay.
I mean, was it generic? Yeah. Like, it was a typical CGI villain who wants to take over the world. Like, but
are you expecting something different from
no,
a superhero
it's a comic
movie?
book. Yeah, that's my thing. Like, that's
movie.
what they all do. Like,
okay.
I don't know what people are looking for as far as motivations from these guys.
Yeah.
So anyway, he wants to take over the world, and of course they've got to stop him. But the biggest weakness I felt, like I go on record as saying this movie was every bit as good as the first Avengers movie.
Okay.
The biggest difference between this and the first Avengers movie is the first Avengers movie had like 8 other movies supporting it. Like, it had a bunch of other movies. You knew who every character was. You knew their motivations, and so you didn't have to try to guess at it.
Yeah.
Whereas here, they have to do like little one-liners every now and then that are kind of easy to miss as far as what's going on and who's who and all that stuff. So if you weren't paying attention, it could feel like the story was all over the place, but I really didn't think it was. I thought this has been one of their better movies, like right after Wonder Woman, which was really good.
Was it really?
Yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman has like a 95 on Rotten Tomatoes. And
are you serious?
Yeah, not that Rotten Tomatoes is like, the best place to go for your... But it's a decent...
95 is hard to come by.
Yeah.
On any site.
And this movie, 39.
Oof.
And let me give you another thing. 39 from the critics, 85 from audiences.
Well, what matters?
So what matters is that the critics give it a 39. That's the thing that gets promoted. And so now this movie that cost $300 million,
it's going to lose its
losing its ass already, man. It only made like 95 in the box office. Compare that to Wonder Woman, which cost 180 million and made 115 the first weekend.
Wow.
So like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I mean,
did you enjoy
I
it?
really feel bad. I think Ben Affleck's going to probably have to buy a smaller house.
Or just move to one of his other ones.
Yeah, that's probably, It's probably not be affected at all.
His second beach house will probably have to be sold off.
Nah, but I'm a huge DC fan. By the way, hashtag Black Belt Tips if you want to send us some stuff. Oh, pull up your Twitter so that you can and search hashtag Black Belt Tips.
Okay.
That way you can see if anybody wrote us last time. I doubt they did.
Have we put that one up yet? The one where we mentioned it?
I thought so.
I don't think we have yet. I think that's the one that goes up today.
Oh, okay. Well, then no one will know.
Okay.
But it'll be fine. So we'll check anyway.
I'm checking now.
So one of the things that we saw that we got tagged in, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
This was a funny little... It was like, I didn't even click on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the title was enough.
Yeah, it was an article about like you can learn martial arts online and get your black belt online. Was that
Yeah,
how it
that's
went?
exactly what it was. Less than a year.
Less than a year.
Yep.
So what do you think about that, Ed?
I think about I've been wasting my time all this time in here bleeding and sweating on the mats when I can just order one online, right?
Yeah, for the record, there's no blood on my mats. They are clean, sir.
They are clean after the fact, but trust me, I've cleaned plenty of blood off of those mats. Trust me. Just last night, as a matter of fact.
That's going to bring people in.
I mean...
People are like, wait, what?
I mean, it just happens, man.
It happens. What are you going to do?
You can bleed playing bowling.
You want to know my take on this thing?
Yeah, please.
No, the way you just said that is like, well, you're going to tell me anyway, so I might as well go for it. I'm only saying yes because we're on the podcast.
I don't really have a choice, do I? I'm kind of captivated here.
Screw you, man. That word's hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean it.
So anyway, I am gonna tell you my thoughts
do.
on this. I have seen this going on for 20 years.
Yeah.
At least. So I remember years and years and years ago, and I didn't even think about it at the time, but because of the way it happened. My instructor in Kung Fu, his instructors were dead. They died. So he could not get promoted any higher because bullshit. That's why. There's no association or anything like that. You know what I mean? So he was a 7th degree black belt, black sash. It was Kung Fu.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get promoted. And it's not like he said anything, but one of the things we did, and when I say we, I mean his students, and there were all of 15 of us.
Okay.
Is we petitioned a governing body and wrote letters as to why he should be promoted, and cited all the winning that we did at tournaments and all this other stuff.
Okay.
And that governing body that was like a generic governing body promoted him to 8th degree black belt.
Nice.
Yeah, it sounds nice until I go back and I realize that we could have just handed them the money and they would have promoted him anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could right now write into this that same organization still exists, by the way. I could write into them and get certified as an 8th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You just tell them what you want your certification in, they write it on a certificate and send it to you. You know, so this has been going on forever. And there are plenty, and I mean plenty, of well-respected people who are parts of these organizations.
Yeah.
They will sign off on it, and they're like this, quote, council of masters. And in reality, they don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt watching some karate guy perform kata, and he's going to sign off on his 9th degree.
Yeah, that's...
You know what I mean? He don't know what he's looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he does, but most of the time, let's be honest.
I wouldn't recognize kata.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh, that was every bit as good as the other one I saw. You know, you wouldn't know.
Looks good to me.
Yeah, sign right here. Here's €100, and they're not cheap.
I was going to say, where's our $500?
Yeah.
That's the number I had in my head, too.
So this has been going on for a long time, and I think just more access to the internet and more access to information has made it more obvious.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to bet if a lot of people checked the credentials on some of their instructors, they would find that their instructors maybe have some credentials that may or may not be the best.
Makes sense.
And that doesn't mean that their instructors aren't good. It doesn't mean that Now, do I think that you should train online? Of course not. I think it's stupid.
I do too. Now, there's situations where that might be your best option.
It might be your only option.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and
those situations are so rare these days, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, even Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is getting to the point where it's
out there.
You can find it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get it. There's the argument that well, what if I want Gracie Jiu-Jitsu specifically, and I can't find it, and Gracie University is my only option. I still believe that you train with an instructor. Suck it up. If you want Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, once you get into Jiu-Jitsu and start learning it, from an instructor, you'll have access to people like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Sure.
You'll have your chances to go train with Hickson and Hoyler and Henner and Hedon and all these people, and no one's going to be mad at you for doing it, but you're better off learning from a real person
in a real place.
Yeah, in a real place with real people who know what they're doing. And I've seen multiple times people coming from the Gracie Academy who can't roll to save their ass, and that's It's not good.
It's not.
Not the Gracie Academy itself, the online academy.
Yeah. We had a guy come in here. I remember him. He was uber confident coming in.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
About 30 taps later, he's like, oh.
Yeah, and now they in their defense, they also got rid of their online blue belt program, thank God. But, like, I thought that was a money grab.
I'll be honest with you, it was a little insulting.
Yeah.
To, knowing what I went through to
you're
get my
a
blue belt. What I went through to get that real blue belt.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the process is easy. If anybody's ever looked at it and read it, it's actually very intricate and detailed. They understand and they know the material they're doing.
Yep.
They just have never really rolled.
Yes.
And that's a problem. And we addressed it kind of with Emil and a while back as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't roll live, if you've never had a real human being who's really trying to beat you do that, then you're not going to be able to do it.
Yes.
You're just not.
Nope.
You're just kataing moves,
to
say the least. Might as well be dancing.
Mm. So, I tend to agree with all of that.
Yeah. So what else you got? What's going on in the UFs?
In the youths?
The UFs.
The youths?
UFs.
Well,
UFC.
Our boy Conor McGregor is being punished after all.
Oh, boy.
It's what they're saying anyway.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think there might be some contract negotiations going on behind the scenes that are keeping him from fighting in December. Because last I heard...
You mean like they're not going to pay him $100 million?
Yeah, it turns out. Well, what I heard is...
I'm telling you, he never fights again.
He wants co-promotion. He wants it to be promoted under, like, Conor McGregor Fights or whatever.
So he wants, like...
UFC in conjunction with Conor McGregor Promotions. Yes.
So this would be like if Ford was like, okay, guys, buy our newest truck, the Ford Chevy Silverado.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen.
It does happen in fight sports a lot.
Yeah.
But not in the UFC. In like any other...
The UFC needs to protect that brand.
Yes, they do.
With everything they've got.
That's all they have.
Because here's what's going to happen. Conor McGregor he's either going to have to go to boxing to get what he wants in that regard, or he's going to fail at that particular venture.
Yes.
Because the UFC is a brand.
Yep.
They cannot be mixing that with another brand and expect their brand to continue having the power it has.
I agree.
Right now it is, without a doubt, the number one. Like, you get a world championship in UFC.
It means something.
You are the world champion.
Yep.
Like, even Bellator's getting better, but they've still got some washed up guys. Or I shouldn't say washed up. Just, washed up. I guess that's the word I have to use. They're guys who could no longer make it in the UFC.
For the most part, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, they stole a
That's
few
not
guys.
to say they suck.
No.
I saw like an upcoming thing, and I was like, oh wow, that's a lot of tough dudes. Like Fedora's in it, and
Frank Mir.
Yeah, Frank Mir.
Chael Sonnen.
Some real badasses,
Yeah.
but those guys can't come into the UFC and win anymore. And there may be some other reasons too, having to do with perhaps some
USADA type stuff.
Yeah, some stuff that might or might not be performance enhancing, but like they couldn't hang anymore.
Yeah.
And that's if the UFC wants that to continue to be the case, they need to simply continue to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? The similar thing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that goes on. For anybody who's listening and doesn't know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has a very valid world championship.
Yeah.
And it's run. It is held by the IBJJF, the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation, which is a privately owned company, just like UFC. But because it's privately owned and because of the way it's been done for years and years and years and years, a lot of people don't like it that it's not like the Olympics or whatever, where it's anybody can get in and whatever. You have to be a member. You have to do this, but because of that, they've been able to keep very tight restrictions on it and high levels of quality control.
Yeah, they have,
and so that's why it's still respected. Other than maybe some other in jiu-jitsu, there's some other events that are coming up, but still, I don't foresee a time in the near future where you win an IBJJF World Championship and people are like, well, you're not that good. You didn't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're good. You're real good.
Yeah. Like when a guy here, Daniel, when he took third at Worlds, I've never heard one person go, oh, but that was the IBJJF.
Yeah, no one.
Everybody's like, he took third at Worlds at the IBJJF. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. You know, and it's the same with the UFC. Like, they need to protect that. So I think they need to tell Conor McGregor, because the little bit of money they'll make off of Conor McGregor in the short term is nothing compared to what they can make over the next 20, 30 to 50 years. You know, when Conor McGregor, in 2 years, when Conor McGregor can't fight anymore, you know, like, it's not going to be worth it.
And now, on the opposite side of that coin, Conor McGregor needs to maximize his earning potential. Like, I agree with everything he's doing.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, like,
good on him.
Yes, exactly.
I hope he has a couple fights, and you know, however he comes about them, and
here's the
makes a few $100 million, and good for him.
If he has any sense, he's good to go forever.
Yeah, good for him. You know, I don't blame him.
No,
I wouldn't. No. I don't blame him if he never walks back in the ring. I matter of fact, I don't see why he would.
I don't either.
You know, other than just he loves it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Unless he truly loves it, there's no reason to ever do it again.
And like he's on the top.
Yep.
And he's in a rare position where he's on top and has every ability to go out on top.
Yep.
He has the money. He has the fame. He has everything he needs. He could go into movies. He could do just about anything he wants.
I guess his movie that just recently opened in Ireland was the biggest movie opening in the history of the country or something.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see him, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe he turns out he's a really good actor. I don't know that, but even if he was only okay, I could see him in like a Fast and the Furious, or like
for sure.
some cheesy action flick. You know what I mean? He could get into something like that.
Some Justice League, something like that.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
I see what you did there.
You see that cheesy action flick?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. No,
it was a good movie. I highly recommend it.
I'll probably watch it, honestly. Yeah. Once you told me like Superman and Batman and all of them are in it, I'm like, okay, I could do 2 hours of that.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast or not, but Superman kind of broke it for me. Because like Superman is so much more powerful than all the rest of superheroes.
Yeah.
That all the rest, it's like hard for me to call them a superhero.
It's like, oh wait, you've got claws and your skeleton's made of metal? This guy flies through outer space. He doesn't even need to breathe.
With his laser eyes, Wolverine. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, so Superman kind of killed it for me.
They're not in the same universe, but that's besides the point.
But you see what I'm saying. Superman will fly over to his universe and cut him in half with eye lasers. Throw him into the sun.
Now there are some Marvel characters who are basically Superman but not Superman, and they're talking about making a movie out of one called Hyperion, and it would be basically a Superman flick. I mean, and when I say he's the same, I mean backstory and everything is pretty much identical.
They just stole it.
Power set, everything.
Wow.
So they just, the types of stories that Marvel told were very different than the types of stories that DC told. Yeah. So different heroes became popular.
Yeah.
You know, because Superman came out and it was, you know, truth and justice and the American way, and everybody was into that at that point.
Yeah.
Whereas Marvel told stories about society and
darker sides of society.
Well, yeah, I don't know why words aren't coming into my head, but
like the X-Men being discrimination
against, and they were more thought provoking.
Yes,
and so that's why those characters became more popular, and that's why, like right now, I don't know if you know this, in the movies, the X-Men are not in the Marvel universe. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, most people do. Well, I don't know, most people do, but it's because the X-Men movie rights are owned by Fox. And Marvel proper is owned by Disney, and they do not share those rights.
That makes sense.
And so, like, that's why you have the Avengers and all these B-list characters coming up.
Yeah. And,
like, the really powerful ones and the X-Men and stuff, that's why they're not in those movies.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because otherwise, it would have been a very different franchise, I feel.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that.
Sorry we just wasted 15 minutes of your life talking about Avengers.
You know what? That's not a waste ever. Talking about comic book movies is never a waste.
Fair enough.
So hopefully the sound is coming out okay. We're trying something a little different with our microphone
setup
right
here.
Now.
Yeah.
So if you can't hear us, then I'm sorry. I'll try to fix it in post.
I'm just coming through loud and clear.
Yeah.
And stereo sound. And then you're like,
it's a big jerk.
Yeah. But, so I wanted to get into a little boxing.
Okay.
And this is more of a question for our fans. So please, blackbelttips.com, blackbelttips on Facebook.
Just hashtag blackbelttips on
or
Twitter.
On Twitter, yes. Who do you think is the better heavyweight boxer right now? Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder? Because I'm going to be honest with you, Bill, I have not been this excited about boxing in forever.
I'm willing to bet that of the people who listen to this podcast, 1 to 2 knows what the hell you're talking about.
You think?
That's how unpopular boxing is.
I bet you're wrong.
I bet I'm not.
I'm telling you, in my opinion, this kid Deontay Wilder, his story is amazing. Like, he started fighting because his daughter had, like, spinal bifida or...
Spina bifida.
Yeah, whatever. Thank you. One of those diseases. And literally, that's the only reason he started fighting. And now he's the heavyweight champion of the world trying to unify the belts. It's an incredible story. And he comes across like a super nice guy. And then you got this British guy, Anthony Joshua, who is one of the most technical heavyweight boxers I've seen in a long time. And it looks like they're going to clash. It'll be the boxing super fight. It'll be incredible. I'm super looking forward to it.
Nobody cares about boxing yet.
We'll see. Prove Bill wrong. Flood the inboxes with Deontay Wilder.
Hashtag Black Belt Tips. Talk about Deontay Wilder.
And Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
they're both monsters.
This other guy who has 2 first names.
Tony Josh?
Yeah.
The old Tony Josh over there.
Can't even take him seriously.
Yeah, I don't. He's British. We're rooting for the American.
Wow, man. We just lost our entire British market, man.
Oh, man.
Dang, that's harsh.
Sorry.
That's okay. I haven't even advertised to the Brits yet.
Oh, no?
So, no,
okay, we're good there. I love England. Don't get me wrong.
I'd love to go there. I'm sure it's great. Thanks for your help over
It's one of my top 5 countries. But when it comes to boxing...
What's number 4?
Number 4?
Yeah.
I mean, you got U.S., Canada, England.
Wait, Canada's in there?
Australia. And...
Wow. You're just all about the crown, aren't you?
Maybe... probably Japan. I'd probably go to Japan.
Okay.
Those would probably be my top 5.
Nice.
And maybe the United Arab Emirates. I'd really like to see Dubai.
I'm never going there.
No?
Nope.
That's okay. I just want to see the buildings.
Yeah.
Like the Burj Khalifa. It's like the tallest building in the world.
It's amazing. It's an amazing area. They just want to cut my head off, so I'm not going.
Fair enough. I want to keep my head.
I'm a soldier. So
that's true.
They don't like me.
Yeah, they don't
I mean, the UAE is probably quite safe.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, it's probably...
But that's too close to places that do not like me.
Fair enough.
I mean,
I understand where you're coming from.
There's probably people in Ohio who want to
I was going to say. Turns out, Bill, you can just go right down Portage Trail. I can find 5 people.
Like, you like this guy? They're like, nope.
Nope. Fuck that guy.
He's annoying on Facebook.
I hate his podcast. Tired of seeing it pop up in my feed.
There's a commercial every 5 minutes. This guy's annoying.
That's funny.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah. But like I said, I haven't seen somebody knock somebody out like this, like on a consistent basis since Tyson.
That's pretty impressive then.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to give you that.
Yes.
But I just feel like boxing has lost so much love over time.
It has.
That I don't think they come back from it, man.
I don't think they'll ever be where they were. No. I don't either. But I think there will always be a niche for it.
Yeah. What do you think about football? American football for our British listeners.
I used to love it.
Yeah.
I used to watch it all the time. But the Browns are so bad and have been so bad for so long, it's made it almost unwatchable for me.
Here's why I ask. I saw an article, and it was, I forget who, Bob Costas, I want to say is who it was.
Okay, yeah.
But and I could be wrong, so if I'm quoting that wrong, I apologize. Okay. I'm not going to go research it.
No.
So anyway, he was talking about it, and I made a lot of valid points that I don't think football is going to be around too much longer.
I don't either.
And when I say that, I mean like 60 years. I don't think football is going to be around in 100 years, and I think baseball and basketball and soccer still will be.
Okay.
And the reason I think that is just all the head injuries and all the things coming out about the head injuries and how it just, I mean, it's destroying lives.
Yes.
And it's really sad because I love football as a sport. Like, I played football.
So did I.
I love to watch it. But, like, you know, every hit these guys take, it's just making them dumber and dumber. And I don't mean that in like a negative, like, I don't mean that in like a they aren't intelligent way, as much as it's destroying their brain.
Yes.
They're literally beating their brain down.
And that's weird coming from a couple of guys who do a podcast primarily about fighting.
Yeah.
But
we don't take hits like that.
And people, and they're like, you get kicked in the head. Well, let's think about it. put two people 50 yards apart and have them run full speed and collide into each other.
I don't think you watch a lot of football, but okay. Doesn't happen that way all the time.
I did a lot of kick coverage too, and that's basically what kick coverage was.
Yeah,
you kick the ball off and you run as fast as you can,
and then hit the guy.
Slam into another guy head first.
Yeah,
well, shoulder first, but let's face it, your head's hit. You know.
Yeah, it's just such a dangerous sport, and so like right now, like if you watch it right now, you'd be like, how's this ever going to die? And it's like, well, what's happening is, I mean, and I believe you're among them. Like, there's a lot of parents saying, yeah, you're telling their kid you're not playing football.
Yeah, Edward's been bringing it up a lot, and I'm just like, nah, man, I just don't want
play
to play
baseball, play soccer, play hockey.
Yeah,
I
don't even know about hockey.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But like, that's what they're saying.
Yeah,
and like, back to your analogy, comparing it to fight sports, like, okay, great, yeah, we get beat up. So let's say, and when I say we, I mean the people in the cage.
Yeah, we don't fight.
I'm in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I very rarely ever get touched in the head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
But even the guys getting kicked in the head, they don't do that every day. And they certainly don't do it at the intensity that those guys do for 60 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And they certainly only do it.
Yeah, they don't do it every week. How many fights
do you have a year?
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make, is that when you get concussed in fighting, you're out for 6 months.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to fight for 6 months.
These guys get they have concussion protocols, but let's be honest. I bet if you walked out and tested every one of them for a concussion right after a game, the majority would have one.
Yes.
Especially like linemen.
From high school football.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I'm no medical profession, but I remember getting my bell rung badly. Going over to the sideline, getting a sip of water. Oh, man, we turned the ball over. I'm back on the field.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like 5 seconds later.
Yep.
Just repeatedly. Boom, 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 boom.
It's just the way the sport goes. And it's sad because I love it. I'm a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I love watching it. But, I mean, when it disappears, I don't think I would be that sad about it either, because I do know that it is kind of destroying lives.
For real. Time. Yeah. I mean, how many of these guys have killed themselves?
Yeah, that's been going on or gone crazy.
Yeah.
And who knows, but anyway, now that we've dragged everybody down.
Sorry, but
do you have any good news?
Not to pick us up from that.
Okay.
Jeez. Basketball season's in full effect.
There's no Pittsburgh basketball teams, though.
Don't you live in Ohio?
Yeah, but I'm from that area, man.
That makes sense. But see, that's the beauty of, like...
That's why everybody wants to hate me.
The beauty of it is, though, if you're from an area and they don't have a team, then you get to pick your team.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like, I hope the Cavs win. I always hope it. But I'd be lying if I said that, like, I cared about the Cavs before LeBron James. Like, I didn't.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm totally, I want to see them win because they're local. But, like, before LeBron James, and I mean, like, the first time, I didn't give two shits about any basketball team.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been a Cavs fan since I was 4 or 5 years old, because they used to have a guy named Mark Price. Mm-hmm. Solid point guard.
I remember the name.
You remember him? He used to go to a church that I went to.
Oh, that's cool.
So this guy used to, like, teach me how to shoot foul shots and stuff, you know what I mean? And so I've been hooked on the Cavs since.
That's really good reason. That's really cool.
He used to attend the chapel here in Akron, so it was cool.
That's neat, man.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like he knew me by name or anything, but there'd be a group of 30
He's like,
kids.
yo, Eddie W., what's up, man?
No, it was more like
when you gonna come out for the team?
30 kids in a semicircle.
Back then, you could have made the team, too.
Foul shots. What's that?
Back then, you could have made the team, too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
No, not when Mark Price was playing.
They came close to the championship
really
game
good
a couple
back then.
times.
Yeah, they were really, really good.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But it took getting the GOAT on there to.
The greatest of all time.
You think it's LeBron James, LBJ?
I'm pretty biased.
Not Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah, I mean the kid grew up 5 miles from where we're recording this podcast. Of course I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to root for the local guys.
Fair enough. You don't think Michael Jordan was better than he is?
I'm going to take a beating for this, but no, I don't.
I have no statistics to say otherwise.
I don't.
I mean.
Michael Jordan had a killer instinct and an unstoppable will to win. But if you just are talking like basketball skills, nah.
Yeah. No. So you think Michael Jordan was just average?
No, I didn't say that. I said top, probably second best player of all time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
After you?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Goes me, LeBron, and then Jordan. So I guess he'd be third.
Third. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
LeBron's the second best player.
What about Mark Price? He's got to be up there too. I mean, he taught you.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's Mark Price,
Mark Price,
Ed Whitney,
then
LeBron James,
and then Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. He's the fifth best basketball player of all time. So, did you know Steph Curry was born in Akron?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
He plays for
Golden State.
Yes, okay.
Yeah,
I did know
he's
that.
like a superstar in the league. So
yeah, I know he's really
probably
good.
two best players in the league were actually born right here in Akron.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
nifty.
think
man.
it was the same hospital, if I remember correctly.
Really?
Yeah.
Same time?
No, they're a few years apart. Steph
Same
Curry's- Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I was going to say something, but I'm like, I don't want LeBron mad at me.
So you just said yes?
I was going to say something far worse than what you said. That's why
You were
I'm
like, well, it is Akron.
I was like, yes. I'm just going to
You're
gloss
like,
right over that.
no is the answer.
He's
man.
a little bit influential in this town. I do not need
he's
that guy
awesome,
mad at
man.
me.
Next thing I know, like people will come in, be like, "Stop Love Martial Arts." Yeah, it's closed. What?
Turns out LeBron owns this building now.
He said, "You're out."
You're out.
He's going to find anywhere you go, buy it, and kick you out.
Out.
Till you apologize. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, LeBron's mom. I'm
So you
grateful.
had a subject you wanted to talk about before we run out of time. Egos.
Yeah.
The ego monsters on the mats.
Yeah. So you know, really, it's like ego in martial arts.
Yeah.
And really, my question is, does jiu-jitsu have the biggest ego? And here's why. For any of our listeners who like doesn't know martial arts or hasn't been in jiu-jitsu or whatever, jiu-jitsu has this saying, and I mean, like, it's literally sitting on my floor. It's like
Right in
on the
front of our
carpets
door.
in my floor. It's written on them with the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu logo, and it says, "Leave your ego at the door." And you hear that everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey man, no egos, brother, no egos. Don't have any egos when you're rolling. You know, no egos.
Yeah,
But
that's a lie.
do we have the biggest ego?
As a group,
Yeah, jiu-jitsu in general, Brazilian jiu-jitsu in general, does it have a bigger ego than, say, any other martial art?
damn. Yes, I think so.
I think so, too.
Yeah, we're pretty arrogant.
Yeah. Yeah,
Pretty
it
arrogant
makes
they
me
are.
sad.
It is.
You know, and feel free to disagree with me if you want. I mean, now,
Mind you, we're two guys who have invested our life in jiu-jitsu.
yeah, this is all I do.
Yeah, this is our lives.
Like, I don't teach karate. I don't teach taekwondo. I could teach karate very easily. I could, and not that like I could go learn it. I know it. I know karate. I've trained it for a very long time. I know kung fu. I trained it for a very long time.
I quit my job to work here.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm
so-
in. So don't get me wrong. I love jiu-jitsu, but yeah, I kind of feel like, especially like on martial arts forums, I see it like rear its ugly head.
Yeah, man.
I'm always like, jiu-jitsu is the best martial art, in my opinion. But it's not perfect.
And it doesn't mean you have to go telling everybody. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean you
man,
have to
just-
go like being mean to people just because
Yes,
they don't do it.
They do karate. You shouldn't just go fucking.
So like we're in a martial art, and this is true of every martial art, and I would argue any sport that has competitions.
Okay.
About 3 to 5% of the people who actually train it actually compete on a regular basis.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? Maybe a little higher in a sports school,
Yeah.
but even in a sports school, not that many compete on a regular basis.
That makes sense.
They do it every once in a while, but
Yeah.
even here, I'm not a sports school, and they do it every once in a while. But
We got a big contingent going out December 2nd.
I know that's awesome, man.
Yeah, we got to get some.
But you know, so my point is, like, the vast majority of the people who train jiu-jitsu do it as a hobby,
Yes.
like as a, you know, even if it's as a sport. But they do it as a sport, just like the guy you know who's on the softball
Or the
pickup
pickup
league
basketball
does it as a sport.
league. Yep.
You know, yeah, you do it. You're serious about it. You love it. It's what you do. But like, it's still just a hobby. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not paying your bills. It's not, you know, you're not going to win a world championship. You know. Yet these guys will go on forums and I mean, just talk to people like trash. Just, you know, like, oh, you do karate? Oh, you should do jiu-jitsu. Why? Like, why? What do you know about what that guy knows about karate? Like maybe he just likes it.
Maybe he's in it for the Tai Chi.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the spiritual stuff he's seeking. You never know.
You know, or just maybe he's been doing karate for 30 years and doesn't care about self-defense. Like, doesn't care about that. Doesn't care about, like, oh, this is the most effective.
He's a belt collector.
Just enjoys doing kata and enjoys the zen of it. You know, like there's so much ego in jiu-jitsu, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And this ties into another story that I tagged you in, or I thought I tagged you in. I shared it on my page.
Yeah.
But anyway, recently, one of the red belt masters of jiu-jitsu. So for anybody who doesn't know, there's a weird rule out there, and I think it's a stupid rule personally.
Okay.
I don't like it. That you can't get 10th degree black. In most martial arts, it goes 1st degree black belt through 10th degree black belt. There are some changes there, and then like sometimes like in a lot of arts, like once you get to a certain level, it's no longer a black belt, it's like a red and white belt, and then it's like a coral belt, and then it's like a red belt. The point is, there's like a 1st degree through 10th degree.
Yeah.
And that's just, just like all the belts, it's a rather newer thing, meaning it just started in like the 1920s and 30s. But for the most part, they all have 10 degrees. Well, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu does not. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has 9, because the 10th degree is reserved for the Gracie family, specifically the 5 brothers who kind of started the Gracie Academy. They're the only one, they all had it, they're all dead, nobody can have a 10th degree. All right, so all these red belts are 9th degrees. And they've all known this, quote, rule for a long time. They all agreed to it, they all know it. You know what I mean? Now, the weird thing about it, and why I think that rule's dumb, is because, well, every other martial art has 10 degrees. So if you think belts don't matter, then it doesn't matter. But if you do, then it should have 10th degree, just because they all do. And then it's not like the Gracie families were the only ones. That's not the only lineage of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, no.
Like, there's other lineage for it. Why can't they have a 10th degree?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yet everybody agreed to this. So, stupid or not, everybody kind of has, in an unwritten way, agreed to this idea that there can only be 9 degrees.
Okay.
Right? 9th degree red belt, you're done. There's no higher rank. So, just recently, and God, I wish I could remember his name. If you want to Google it, you can. Just type Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Master 10th degree, or white belt, something like that.
Okay.
This, God, why can't I remember his name? It drives me crazy. He did a thing where he took off his red belt and put on a white belt with a red bar. So basically promoted himself to 10th degree. like, and that's how I see it. I don't know what else you call that. Like, you took off one rank and put on a different rank. That is a new rank.
Fabio Bearing?
Is that who it is?
Bearing?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So, and I mean, don't get me wrong. This guy's been training jiu-jitsu for 60 or 70 years, whatever. He can do what he wants. But, like, it just goes so far to show how much ego there really is in the belt.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, we're jiu-jitsu is the most famous for saying belts don't matter. All that matters is that you can do it. Like, no ego, no anything. And here we got like one of the highest ranking guys there saying, "Oh, I can't get any higher of a rank. Well, then I'll just put on a new one and still call it 9th degree and say that I'm just doing a gesture." You just wanted a new fucking belt.
Yeah.
You felt you deserved a 10th degree, so you
made
put it
your
on.
own belt up.
Like, that's how I see it, and I think it's really conceited, and no one seems to be calling him out on it.
Yeah.
Like, and even if you did it as so maybe he's completely like, oh yeah, it's full circle, white belt to white belt, you're always a white belt, you're always learning. That is the most cliche thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, other martial arts do that too, and you're not unique for doing it. I just see it as him promoting himself to 10th degree, after agreeing that there is no 10th degree, there's only 9.
Well, see,
So now, like,
who agreed to this? Do you know what I mean? Like, did these individuals actually agree to it, or did the masses agree to it? And
so it's an IBJJF rule.
Okay.
Which is generally accepted by everybody. Again, the IBJJF is a company that is privately owned.
To make profit.
But it also certifies rank, and every jiu-jitsu guy out there seems to use the similar standards.
Yeah.
So it's through them that you see it. You also see it through the Gracie Academy, and you see it written just about everywhere.
Okay.
Do I think that there should be a 10th degree? Yeah, and I think there's plenty of guys out there who deserve it.
Yeah.
If there is, he's probably one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so. But my question is, now what? What's next? Do we get a bunch of these guys and say, hey, here's this white belt with a red bar? That's 10th degree, and now it exists. Does this make sense?
Yeah,
Does my argument make any sense?
It makes sense. I mean,
I just see it as egotistical, I guess.
I guess I just don't care about people's belts.
Yeah, I get it.
You know? I don't know. It does look cool, though. The red bar is a nice touch.
It's a white belt with a red bar.
Yeah,
It looks neat.
It does look cool. I'm not going to lie.
It's fine. You know, and I understand the symbolic gesture of it. I just think that in light of the fact that there's not supposed to be a 10th degree, all you're doing is promoting yourself, and it's silly.
I mean, at a certain point, though, don't we all have to, like, kind of promote ourselves?
No.
Like, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, like, when you're... So, for me, it won't be necessarily an issue because we're about the same age. Yeah. But when your instructor dies off and his instructor died off, at some point, there is no longer anybody to promote you.
Yeah, there is. I mean, like, so...
Other
so
than those individual bodies.
The only people there weren't for... Well, that's why those bodies exist. But, but the only people that got promoted without anything like that were the original 5 Gracies.
Okay.
Because at some point they had to say, okay, well, here's this belt ranking system, and where are we getting? Well, I guess I'm 10th degree because I'm the head of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they started doing, 3 degrees or 3 years for every rank, and then they modified it again 5 years after 3rd degree, and then they kept modifying it.
Yeah.
To figure out like where it would made sense to fall at what belt.
I think this is all nonsense. That's what I think.
I think you're right.
Let's just put on no gi and just go roll. How's that?
Nah.
We can wear our gis. Just leave our belts off.
Well, I mean, but that's the other thing. Like, we say belts don't matter, but when's the last time you saw a black belt and we're like, oh, yeah, I don't ever want to be a black belt?
Never.
Yeah, exactly.
Never.
When's the last time you looked at it and said, that belt doesn't look cool at all?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's what it is.
I'm not going to lie. I think about purple belt all the time.
Yeah, which is your next rank. And for anybody who doesn't know, in Jiu-Jitsu, that's a pretty significant rank. You're a genuinely dangerous human being if you're a purple belt.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, not you personally.
Not me.
Everybody else would be.
Yeah, every other purple belt.
Yeah, every other purple belt would be.
I do have those same reservations that I had when I was getting ready to go to blue belt.
Yeah?
Where you like look around the academy and you're like, every blue belt here can kick my ass. But you forget that like all these other white belts are going to be blue belts, and then all these blue belts are going to be purple belts. You know what I mean?
So you think every blue belt here can kick your ass?
I did when I was a white belt.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And now as a blue belt, I'm like, all these fucking purple belts can kick my ass. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you get that
catch
first.
Up.
Yeah, exactly. By like the first or second stripe, you're catching up and starting to pass people
Next
up.
thing you know, they're brown belts and they're still beating you up.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
How cool is that, though, that we have that many high ranks now?
That's really neat, man.
I remember me and Kendall were having a conversation. I remember being so excited because there was 2 blue belts and a purple belt in my class. I was like, oh, my God, look at that guy.
Now the blue belt class takes up the whole map.
Yeah, we'll have... It's been a while, man.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So you got anything else before we get out of here and go smash some turkey?
No, I don't think I got anything, man. Guys, Ed, how can they get a hold of us?
There's so many ways.
Okay, how about naming them?
Let's go blackbelttips.com.
Okay.
Blackbelt Tips on Facebook. Blackbelttips@gmail.com. And please, Eddie Jiu-Jitsu 33 on the Twitters.
Give them a follow. I am at Top Level GJJ.
GJJ.
Guys, hashtag Black Belt Tips on Twitter to let us know. What we'll do is we just search for that, and then we know you're talking to us.
So if you want to see Bill eat a pie and me watch a superhero movie, hashtag Black Belt Tips.
Hashtag Black Belt Tips. Ed's watches superheroes.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. You have a great day. Have a happy Thanksgiving, even though this is probably coming out like a week after.
Yeah.
I'm Bill Jones. This is Ed Whitney, and we are out.
Out.